Really, the next 20 years of opportunity we see is in this convergence of what we call kind of private equity meets venture capital. Not only do I get a huge bump in multiples on the linear business, but then I also have a growing, very fast growing platform business, which has insane multiples and insane growth prospects. When we look at the world of private equity, there are a few really forward-thinking private equity firms of the likes of Vista Private Equity, Tomo Bravo. And what's very interesting about these private equity firms is they're actually starting to buy SaaS companies. They're actually starting to have portfolios of tech companies. And what's happening is now a SaaS company is still linear company. It's not a platform. But what we're starting to see, partially because we've been called in to speak to these CEOs, is the CEOs are saying, hey, maybe I have a SaaS workflow product. Maybe I have millions of contractors that are using my SaaS workflow product. And I've got a platform opportunity here. What if I was to let all of these contractors purchase the products that they're actually using and applying in their jobs through a product marketplace that I could spin up, right? Essentially, I have latent demand of millions and millions of contractors that purchase a lot of these goods.
You've got one side of the network already.
I've got one side of the network. That gives me a huge advantage to then go and get the other side of the network, which is the supply side. In that scenario, I'd much rather start with the demand than the supply. And how can I now use that demand to then spin out a marketplace business? Now, here's the interesting thing. If you go to a Vista, Tomo Bravo, and you say, hey guys, I need like $20-30 million to try and spin up a product marketplace on top of my SaaS business. If that works, what are the next steps, right? If you can actually get the marketplace going and you start monetizing the transactions from the marketplace, you can actually then start to lower the cost of your SaaS product. And then when you think about how you could then lay waste and expand your SaaS business, because now you already have a best-in-class SaaS product, but you're changing your revenue stream, you're changing your monetization profile to monetize on the core transaction, monetize on the usage of the stuff that your existing customers are already buying. That's a pretty compelling value prop. Not only can you then project out much faster growth with the SaaS business, because you can lower rates against competitors and offset that from the income coming from the marketplace, but you also get much better multiples. And that's really the holy grail. Now you get marketplace platform multiples compared to linear SaaS multiples. Linear SaaS multiples are still pretty good, by the way. But platform multiples are better. We've spoken about this in episode 1, episode 3, time and time again in the book about how platform multiples are the best. So I think that's a very low-hanging fruit. So Robert Smith, head of Vista, billionaire, guy's a genius. I don't think it's necessarily Robert Smith saying, hey guys, Vista partners, let's go buy SaaS companies and turn them into platforms. I think instead what's happening, this is more bottom up. I think there's very smart CEOs of these portfolio companies that these leading PE firms are buying. And I think these very sharp CEOs are looking at their business and saying, hey, I could spin out this platform and that would be hugely accretive. That would not just incrementally boost the profile of my business, but actually exponentially boost the profile and valuation of my business. So let's take a rider on this. Let's take a shot at this, right? Let's make an investment of $10 million and see if we can get this thing going. And if it does, we could literally 2 or 3x the investment. You could start to actually get VC returns on a private equity business.